Nicolas, you are being called to the front door, and you've locked your way out from the alchemical lab. So, like, the people who live here actually, like, a few of them are turning to you to see what you will do.
Yeah.
We have your friend, Nicolas. Open up.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh boy. I'll open the door.
Okay.
I'll open the door.
The hooded
And
figure.
I'll just stand with my back tall and.
The hooded figure like takes the hood off, and you can see when he's taking the hood off that his arms are full of scars. Some of them French, and it's a bald French person. And he says, "We have captured your friend that was out. He is standing at the back of the crowd."
I will.
Give us-
No, I'm not.
You have 10 minutes to give us the skull, and we will spare your friend. If you have not given us the skull by then, we will decapitate him, ending his miserable Dalit existence.
Hers. I'm also.
Oh yeah, her miserable existence. Yeah, you're. And he turns around, and like you see a few French Parisians that are like, "What the hell? I thought this dude had the Philosopher's Stone. What's this about a skull?"
Can we bring this conversation inside, please?
I am done talking to you. I will return in 10 minutes for the skull. And he
Oh no. Philip is having a crisis because this. Not only is he in a tough situation, but he doesn't have his mentor with him now. He's truly on his own.
Mentor screwed up. Yeah.
Oh god, and just considering a lot of his backstory stuff, he suddenly is feeling like very panicky, like I should not be here. I've made a mistake. I'm way out of my league. What have I done? Oh my god.
Too much sudden responsibility, and your character has always felt like, like undeserving of being a Hermes, and now it's like,
technically kind of is undeserving of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just like, oh boy, like this is some true karma coming back to bite me in the butt. Okay. Ooh, my mentor is being held hostage and threatened with decapitation. This is great. I love it. Holy shit. What? Okay.
I advise both of you to read your verses. The solution might be in your individual verses.
This may not solve it, but it would be helpful. I could try casting Oracle.
Can you, while I'm improvising what's going to happen, can you describe what it does and say the sentence?
Yeah, so my consciousness rises and I will receive some kind of cryptic series of words or sentences determined by the all-powerful GM relevant to the current situation. So even, I'm assuming they may not make total sense at first, but it'll be something that might be somewhat helpful. And so Philip S. Nicholas is going to take a deep centering breath, hold himself steady, and say, but Alexander himself, in a letter to his mother, said that he has the secret answers from the oracles that he shall tell her alone upon his return. And just lets out a deep breath and waits for his consciousness to ascend and receive some kind of message.
I'm almost done. It's just like I prepared a bunch of them and none of them came up, and now I've got to come up with one like really quickly.
That's how it be sometimes. That's just the way of tabletop RPGs. It's my job as the player to make you unprepared.
Yeah.
When near is the pain, make it rain. chaos in the crowd. Gold is always loud. Flee in confusion to solve the equation. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I feel like I see what this is hinting at, but I'm also oblivious as hell, so I'm like hoping I'm interpreting it right. I feel like it's insinuating like possibly just throwing money into the crowd and letting chaos ensue and taking that time as a distraction to flee and save Stefan. That's what my brain is getting, but maybe I'm completely incorrect.
I'm glad that I managed to make it subtle enough that you're confused, but also clear enough. It's more or less what I was going for.
Okay, awesome. I'm not a complete buffoon.
no, Theo, like that's great. But
I take my big old pouch of gold coins and I open the door again and I just kind of peer over the crowd. Do I have eyes on where the hooded figures have Stefan, or have they completely moved out of sight?
You can see exactly like where he is, and he's towards the back of the crowd. But there's also like a bunch, like it's a merchant street. So like there's other people minding their own businesses right now.
Okay. Oh man, this is gonna be chaotic as hell. I reach a hand into my pouch and I grab a handful and I'll just say, here goes nothing. And I'm gonna throw it in the general direction where Stefan is so the crowd overwhelms the hooded figures and hopefully gives Stefan a chance to get away. I'm just gonna straight up like just pelt gold coins in that direction and be like, whoops, my hand slipped.
So the poor of Paris like see this, and hands start to reach in the air trying to grab the coins, and some of them just fall onto the ground, and they are gold coins. And so like immediately someone shouts gold, and like all eyes in the street turn to this, and there is a rush of the crowd. Like immediately. Janine, which is holding you, is pushed to the side and like drops her sword because of the confusion. Stefan, you are you're free to move, but you're in the middle of a crowd, so movement might be difficult. But you're not under threat of a weapon right now that could like hurt you if you don't move right. So what do you do?
Our building that we are in on second floor, does it have a terrace or any kind of entrance?
It has a window that's been opened to let in some cool August. Some
window
air.
is even better because they might not see me appearing there. So I will say my famous words. Thus one searched for Sleipnir Odin's steed. As one walked, Hermod mounted, and it galloped off. And I will aim for the window.
Okay. You disappear from the crowd. People almost don't notice because everybody is like just trying to rush for the gold. But you hear Janine like shout in rage. And and Flamel, that's like throwing the gold out like this, has spent like your more or less Flamel's fortune. Okay, would everyone be okay with us saying that the verse ends here, that an action of light has been performed, and that the situation of this thing has been more or less resolved, and that you go back to your bodies? Are we comfortable with ending it here, or do you want to stay a bit longer as Nicholas Flamel? Do you like? Because I basically I put one of the options to solve this scenario in redistributing your wealth, like as an action of light that just as an act of kindness. To as like one of the possibilities to end the verse. So I'm comfortable ending it here if you want. I just want to make sure you feel like this story is is coming to a close, if you feel comfortable with ending it here, or if you feel like you'd rather keep going and finding a solution to the skull problem. What do you think?
Well, if we end it here, we return to our bodies.
Yeah.
I feel Skull is still in danger. Well, Flamel has it, but well, he will just wake up with the skull in his hand, right? Like, what?
Oh. Yeah.
That was easy.
Basically, like after the verse ends, this micro universe just stops and reloads during it doesn't continue beyond this point in the story. The verses are sort of like stuck in a loop where they repeat the same moments in time. Basically, when you go back to your bodies, the verse will play into a loop against during the next star alignment for this verse, and it will play out the way you played it out. But basically, like it's not going to keep going. Like Flamel is not going to wake up with the skull in his hand. It just closes as
so we're not like screwing everybody over.
Not at all. Because basically, the verse is that story, and if we're comfortable saying this story is over and we go back to the present, then we just say that the writing is done. It's just like, do you as the players feel like that? Do you want to keep going? Do you want to keep?
Well, then our job is done here. We find the skull and put it in the Flamel's hand, right? That was the task.
Either that, or we find a way to if we find a way to make sure that it's locked away, because that's the main thing in my head right now. And the main thing that's kind of consuming Philip is making sure that skull doesn't get into the wrong hands, even if we can't perform the ritual, just keeping it protected from the hooded figures.
So here's what we could do that could be a good thing. The gold coins that you've thrown, they start to shine, and the entire verse starts to become a bit more and more blurred. You feel like this is coming to an end, but you still have to find. You feel like you still needed to find this thing, like a place to hide the skull. So Philip, how are you going to go about hiding the skull in a Neo-Hermes fashion?
Yeah, that is also my concern. Can we hide the skull?
Yeah. The first place my brain went to is the underground lab. Is there an actual floor, or is it a dirt floor? I don't know how well it would go. Would be to, if the lab has a dirt floor, would be to dig up part of the floor, like a narrow but deep hole, just chuck the skull in it, throw the dirt over it, and then to keep the messy dirt from looking out of place, distressing other things in the lab so it doesn't stand out as much.
Here's the thing. Neo-Hermes and Hermes, when they hide something, they always leave something behind so that people can find it afterwards. People who are smart, because that's why they love ciphers. That's why they love clues and things like this. That's why you had to resolve a cipher to find this thing. So that's totally an option, but you're going to need to find a way to just make it findable again. Otherwise, the skull is. I feel like the skull would be lost forever. If you hide it too well.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I feel like that just also plays into Philip's thinking though really well, because he's definitely less of the clever type and more of just chuck it under the dirt and we're good. Yeah. We could leave some kind of carving somewhere, or some kind of a note maybe, but that may not last. Some kind of carving, or even something on the landmark.
You know what's amazing?
What?
The actual scenario to find the skull starts with finding a piece of landmark left by Flamel.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
You know that Flamel commissioned engravings on the side of a cemetery, the cemetery of the Innocents. You know this because you studied Nicolas Flamel's life before you came back here.
Okay.
So, but he commissioned those engravings. He hired someone to do that. Since you're aware of like this landmark that Nicolas Flamel had an actual influence on, you would just say your character like puts the skull away, and we make we do a scene where you escape the house and hire someone to, make those engravings with some hidden clues.
I think that's a perfect idea. Yeah, I like that.
So you hide the skull. Now it's only a matter of getting out of this house, because there's still a crowd outside that is saying, that is shouting, "What about us? We want gold. We know you have the Philosopher's Stone. We know you can make all the gold you want." And there's also the Devoured outside. So how are you going to get out of this one?
Through the chimney.
Could I just keep throwing handfuls of gold?
And we can escape through chimney.
That would be an athletics check.
Yeah, we are not good at that. Yeah, I know.
You're not good at that, but Philip is.
But
do you both want to escape together or separately?
Well, if we are going to leave this...
if we're going back to our bodies.
Yeah, we can just try to make it harder for them so we can split out. Yeah, you can go through chimney, and I will look outside the window, and I can teleport myself 2 times so they can lose my trail. Yeah, and I will try to go to the window and find some other place to teleport, and then from there I have 1 more teleport left, so I will probably be far away.
Do you go into the street? Do you go on top of rooftops? In the distance, you can see Notre Dame, super far away.
I want to go with the style. I want to go up on the roofs and to see the Paris from the top and wait on some kind of a roof for a moment where everything will go off.
You teleport. Theo, roll for athletics. You're at a +3 because it's a really easy to climb through a chimney, which is large enough for a human to put their legs and to move up.
Well, Lisa succeeded. Just I was expecting better.
Yeah, you rolled a 2 and a 1. That's not great, but you're pretty good at that skill.
Yeah.
You climb your way out through the chimney. We'll say that you're covered in soap when you make it out. And so both of you are on different rooftops, and Janine and her Devoured are still looking around. They're still looking for you. So do you try to be discreet? Do either of you roll for stealth?
Well, if there is a window that looks to the totally opposite side of this square or the street, I will like to go there so they don't even have a chance of seeing me, and then teleport in the opposite direction from them.
Okay.
That's my idea.
Yeah, you can make it out pretty easily. It might be a bit more difficult for Theo. Philip, you're on the roofs, the black tiled roofs of Paris. How do you make your way to Stone Carver?
Are the buildings fairly spaced out, or how easy would it be to do some roof jumping to get a decent distance before people catch up to me?
It would be an athletics check, and basically the roofs are at different heights, but you're a rather good climber. So if you want, you can try to outmaneuver them through the roofs, and then and it will and then you'll be rolling athletics against my athletics, or yeah.
Okay. I feel confident in that. I have pretty good athletics.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll. So as it's difficult for you, so you have a penalty, but on the other hand, it's difficult for them to maneuver through the streets, so they also have a penalty. So it's like, okay.
We just cancel out each other's penalties?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Holy shit.
So I think
I'm Spider-Man up in here, y'all.
The verse is like fading away around you, but you're like jumping from roof to roof, like you're parkouring like it's amazing, and the whole time the eye in the sky is fixed on you. You know, like you're this old man, Nicholas Flamel, just like jumping from roof to roof. It's amazing. It's unbelievable, and you make it.
God.
Yeah, you make it to a stone carver's place. Like there is no competition. Nobody's been able to follow you there, and the verse ends with you putting your last 3 golden coins on the counter to order, like to put the riddle down, and there's a bright flash of light, and you return to your bodies. So congratulations, you have written your first verse. Your characters wake up in the vault room, and the screens are showing, the last images of Paris fading away, like focusing on Flamel in the street, talking with a stone carver, and surrounded by light. And you, all 4 of you, wake up, all 4 of you, like, congratulate yourselves. And as you exit the vault room a few minutes later, you are greeted by a furious Galileo. And he is saying, it's not possible. They couldn't have found out, but, well, it's in the sky now. There's a new star. It means someone was interfering with this verse. We have to find who rewrote history. And, like, there's a couple of other Hermes with him, and he looks furious, and he says, I want everyone on deck on this. We are going to find who interfered with Project Crusade. In the background, there's like all of your characters being like going from like, yeah, we did, to oh. And we end this as the camera like pans over to a window, and in the sky there's like a new star that starts to shine with the new verse that's been written.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, ironically, I will approach him and give him some of those. What he does, he like, no, marshmallows, or what does he? Take this. You are not angry when you eat this.
He says, no, thank you. I'm not in the mood for solid food right now. You go and get me some soup.
Soup.
Old man asking for soup is going to be like the recurring gag of this game.
Yeah. Well, I'm old man that eats soup, so I have some soup prepared.
How do you feel about the way the first rewriting went down? Is this what you were expecting when I pitched to you like a game where you go back in time and rewrite history? Is this like is the formula? This is basically going to be the basic formula for the rest of the game. It's going to be some adventures in the present. Some stuff is happening. You have to keep your identity secret. You have to keep trying to advance the cause of the light in the present, and then you have to go on adventures in the past. Is that like?
I like it. Like I honestly was expecting to be a lot more intimidated by responsibilities we would have. So like in a way it wasn't what I expected, but in the best way possible, it wasn't what I expected. Like I was able to stay with it and enjoy it and feel like I knew what was going on, and it was really fun, and it was a good way for me to really figure out more of who Philip is too. I really liked how it went down. I really, really enjoyed this, and I really look forward to seeing how the other ones go and how the different dynamics play out with whoever inhabits the body of the next star of the story. I'm really liking it. Like I expected more. I don't know. Like I didn't expect myself to still have moments of being Philip. Like I was like, oh man, like I have to be like Nicholas, and that's going to be like really awkward. Like, oh, that's going to be weird. And I still had moments where I could genuinely be Philip and just dig deeper into who he is, and that was really cool for me. I did not expect to be able to do that.
I like you might have to have moments where when you're rewriting you have to be more careful about like pretending to be the person that you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Because like the Isabel like was really onto you, but that didn't like I didn't want to push that too much because it was just the first rewriting. But on the other hand,
I think it's a thing too. Like even if it's not the obvious stuff like that, like there was I have a lot of like internal things that were going on in my brain, like as I was playing the role of like, okay, I'm Nicholas now, but like to the outside it may have seemed okay, but like on the inside Philip like was having like crises that I'm really excited to play through later as certain things come into play. Like he's gonna have some stuff to process.
I also like really, really appreciate that you took it to heart to play your character pretending to be another character, because like it's a new level of meta. I think like it's sort of a like rewriting verses is sort of a meta story, and if you start doing it the way Shakespeare does it, where there's a play happening on stage, like he does in Hamlet. It's imagine if your character, if you pretend to be somebody that you're not inside of a verse, then you would be Theo playing Philip that is pretending to be a person in the verse that is pretending to be somebody else. Like so many.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what is exciting about it, because I love playing with layers like that, and I just wasn't expecting like to have the space to do that, and this totally gave the space where I had to constantly be on my toes, and I got to play with the balance of I'm Philip, but I'm also Philip pretending to be Nicholas, and I love that kind of dynamic so much. I love the inception of a person pretending to be a person pretending to be a person.
Nice. What about you, Stefan? What did you?
Well, I was just expecting to. I didn't expect such a sudden success.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that. I was happily surprised by that. I was kind of expecting a lot more trial and error on our side.
Because I was a little bit confused. You weren't specific about what materials we need. So I was expecting like, now this is our main goal. We need to release this Deva, but actually that was not our mission.
Yeah.
It
just again, like it's an
the story
that
fooled to that. It was such a strong theme when you introduce it. So we all believed suddenly that this is our main goal.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's just the theme was so strong that we all like, oh yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah. I basically okay. So here's the thing. Because the way to solve it with the alchemy needed needed for you like to probably take a big risk going into the prison and like and getting the thing. It would have been a big fight and everything. And I wanted there to be multiple options during this game to multiple ways of solving it. So in case the alchemical way wasn't an option, I wanted there to be like us to explore a bit about the impact of Flamel's wealth, you know, and you know, just I thought that giving money like this, giving money was like could also be an action of light. And it would be a good way to dispel, to either to say, okay, I've given all of my wealth, then that could have ended the if you had done it properly, that could have ended the rumors and made it impossible for you to be found again. You just have to go to another place, and you know, so it's like it's I wanted those two options to be possible, and you know, like we were getting near the end of the 4 hours, and I thought we could keep going a bit more, or we could use the opportunity of like of what Theo did to just close it. Maybe I will try to have a more consistent story in the next rewriting.
No, it was not non-consistent. It was just like the theme was so strong that we want to explore it further. That's why I was immediately turned to search the notes about the skull. Everything was about the skull suddenly. It was, well, you gave players a powerful artifact, and what will they do? Like, what? Forget everybody, we have a new toy in our game.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to be a part of this story, we are currently looking for more players and game masters to play new games in this setting and on this channel. You can also be a part of the story by having your face added to the cast of characters. I draw all of the images for this game, and you can commission me to make you into an NPC. If you like the style and you want a drawing like that of yourself, or if you want to contribute to the project, you can contact me through the links in the description. Finally, if you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day, everyone.